Hi students, there we go. We meet once again. This is going to be my second class for the 8th class students. So in the previous class we did study about the tattered blanket. We did understand the story. Then we read through each and every paragraph. We looked at the words that were hard and we found the meanings of them. Now, after the story is completed in the textbook, we have few exercises and there's a small description about the author. So let's go through that. So what is it that we know about the author? Kamala Das, born in 1932 and passed away in the year 2009, is the daughter of the famous Malayalam poet Balamani Amma and V.M. Nair. She is an internationally known poet, short story writer, and novelist who writes effortlessly both in English and Malayalam. She has received many awards for her literary work. Some of them are Asian Poetry Prize, Kent Award for English Writing from Asian countries, Asian World Prize, Sahitya Academy Award, and Vayalar Ramavarma Sahitya Award. So, we get to know that the poet is quite old, the one who's written, that is Kamala Das, and she is an internationally known poet and a short story writer. So, not just in India, she is recognized all over the world. And I have read she has received many awards for her literary work. What do you mean by literary work? Literary work refers to literature, writing of stories, poems, prose, allegory. These are all the things that can be combined in that. Okay. As we continue, then we have this thing called glossary. We come to the next section, that is glossary, where you have the words and the meanings. And I guess I have explained all this during the lesson. So let me go ahead with the next section, that is answer the following questions. So in this I am going to give you a rough understanding of how the answer should be from what we understand about the story. So let's go to the first question. Why didn't the mother recognize Gopi? How did he feel? So it's very obvious, we know why didn't the mother recognize Gopi, because she is growing old, and the sister, Gopi's sister, also refers to her mother, saying that nowadays this problem of her forgetting things is becoming, uh, it's happening more frequently, so she's forgetting more and more things. So that is the first part of the question. How did Gopi feel? uh, Gopi at one point in the story tells his sister, when his sister asks him, once you sell the house, you will not even come back to our hometown. You will not come back to see our mother. But then Gopi says at that time, anyway, she doesn't remember me. So, more or less, we can understand that Gopi is not that interested in that. Next question. Why do you think Gopi didn't get anything for his mother? Okay, there might be couple of reasons for this. The first thing that we get to know is Gopi had come to Thiruvananthapuram for some work, because in the story we notice at a point where Gopi takes out his suitcase and removes his clothes, files and stuff. So we know that he had come to uh, Thiruvananthapuram on some official work. But then he was passing through his house and he wanted to meet. So that could be one reason. It might not be a planned visit to his mother. And the second reason, which I think is far more important, is that Gopi is trying to make both the ends meet, which means Gopi is struggling to bring in the amount of money that would be necessary for them to live a middle class life. So Gopi has 4 kids and then he has his wife. So he's finding it quite tough to manage his finances, or how to manage the money. He doesn't really have enough money. So that could be another, or the most important reason why he did not get anything for his mother. The mother could not remember Gopi. Do you think Gopi remembered his mother? What does it suggest? So this is a line that should be read metaphorically, in the sense it is not a literal meaning. Yeah, it literally means the mother could not remember Gopi. That is correct. Do you think Gopi remembered his mother? Obviously, Gopi has the memory. He is not very old. He knows who his mother is. But this question is asked in a way: does Gopi actually remember his mother, or has he come to Tiruvananthapuram so that he can sell his property? So this can be answered saying that Gopi does not actually remember his mother, in the sense of trying to help or trying to support her in her old age. He is busy with other things. Yeah. But in terms of memory, yeah, he does remember his mother. He knows how his mother looks like. But he is not connected personally with his mother. What is meant by the expression the tattered blanket? That's the title of the story. The tattered blanket refers to a blanket that has been old, it is torn, it is worn out. Okay. So this was the gift that Gopi had actually given Amma long back while he was studying. So this story revolves around that, because in the end Amma tells to Gopi, not knowing that he is Gopi, tells, when you meet Gopi, please tell him to send me a blanket, that to a red one. Next question: why didn't Gopi answer his sister's question? Do you remember your Amma? And ironically, I think that's where the story ends. Like, do you remember your Amma? And there is nothing after that. So what the storyteller is trying to portray over here is, he is trying to leave all of us, the readers, people who understand the story, with a question: do you remember your Amma? Not in the sense, do you remember her face, do you remember how she looks, what's the color of her hair? Not that. So that, are you connected with Amma? Do you speak to her every day? Do you understand what she needs, what she doesn't need? Do you understand what her worries are? How does she spend her time? So you connect to people at an emotional level, not just remembering their faces. If you were Gopi's sister, how would you respond to his behavior? So this is a very subjective question, by which I mean everyone can react differently. Everyone's reactions are not going to be the same. All our reactions depend on how we are brought up. So if you are brought up in an American culture, how would they respond to this? If you are brought up in an Indian metropolitan culture or a rural village culture, our responses always change. So taking an ideal situation, considering an Indian average middle class family, if I were, that is, I'll assume that I am Gopi's sister, how would I respond to his behavior? Uh, the first thing is, in that story we get to know that Gopi hasn't written letters. I mean, he hasn't seen his mother for the past 5 years. So that is very astonishing for a mother who's above her 80s. I think children owe it to their parents to go and see them, to understand them, to talk to them, to ask them what they need, how are they feeling. So these are very important things. So the first thing is, it would surprise me that Gopi would not come and meet his mother for at least 5 years. And the next thing would be, he had come to Tiruvananthapuram to talk about the family property. He wanted to sell his share of the property and then make money. So even that would upset me to an extent. It is understood that Gopi has his own problems, but then coming once in a while and then not spending enough time and talking about that is not very pleasant, I would say. Okay, the next page, vocabulary. I would like to mention one thing over here. Yesterday someone had commented saying that the stories were good, you would want more stories. So there is another teacher also who's along with me who's taking these stories. So you can refer to our videos. Today what I'm going to talk about after completing these exercises are I will continue with the stories in a new method, and then we will talk about some new topics. See, these topics you can always learn from the book. You can always ask the faculty members in the school for any doubts that you'll have. But I will try to teach you all how do you learn any subject today in today's day and age. We'll come to that a little later. So the next page, vocabulary. Vocabulary means, so people always say that you should strengthen your vocabulary. Who do you think in today's Indian time, who is well known for speaking good English? If you look at the uh, people who are in politics, few names that come to my mind is Shashi Tharoor. The reason why their English is so good is they have a huge collection of words. I mean, the more books you read, you come across more new words, and that actually will help you to improve your vocabulary. The more words you have in your dictionary, the more often you can use them to express yourself as accurately as possible. So it says fill in the blanks with the most appropriate words. So the first one, all my attempts to make him proved dash. So you have the options irritation, vacation, huddled, reluctantly, awkwardly, exasperatedly, futile, mumbling. So all my attempts to make him happy proved futile. Why is it futile, not something else? Why is it not irritation? Because if you put irritation in that dash, I'm so sorry, it would be grammatically wrong. So futile is something that is opposite of success. So all my attempts to make him happy proved futile. Next, number 2. It was very cold, so I dash in a corner. So what do people do when you feel cold, and why would you go to a corner? Generally in the corners of a room you would expect the climate to be a little bit warmer because you have walls on both the sides. So if you look at any corner of the room, and then what you do whenever you feel cold, you try to bring yourself closer to each other. I mean, you try to bring your hands and legs closer, and the meaning for that is huddled. It was very close, so I huddled in a corner. Number 3, forced by her parents, Sita dash took the diploma course. So forced by her parents, Sita reluctantly means she is not really happy on taking that course, but she wants to go ahead and take it. So reluctant is with no confidence. You are not you don't really want to do that, but then probably you're doing it because someone else is asking you to do it. Number 4, what are you dash question mark, I can't hear you. So what are you dash question mark, I can't hear you. So it could be what are you whispering, but over here we have in the option mumbling. What are you mumbling, I can't hear you. Number 5, the news that he was denied promotion caused dash to him. Cause dashed to him. I'll repeat the number 5. The news that he was denied promotion caused dash to him. So it would be irritation, caused irritation to him. So it's obvious that when you don't get your promotions, you are not going to be happy. Okay. So next section, tick the words that are similar in meaning to the underlined words. His mother, number 1, I'm sorry, his mother made a futile attempt to get up. So we already know futile means useless. It's all tattered now. So you can say tattered would consider words like old and spoiled also, but literally it means torn. There is a cold mist in the morning. Mist can be referred to as fog. So that would be the answer. It's just like a ball of knotted yarn. Knot, what do you mean by a knot? When people get married in Indian culture, I think Indian Christian culture, people tie 3 knots with the wedding chain or the thread. So that's called a knot. You take a thread and then you tie a knot where it's broken. So knotted yarn. Yarn is the thread which you use for stitching. So knotted over here means rounded tightly. Okay. Next, I can't make both ends meet with my salary. So the options you have: earn a lot of money, spend a lot of money, earn just enough money. That would be the answer. Earn just enough money. That's what making both ends meet. That means your money goes right from your hand to your mouth. What does that expression means? Your food, I mean the money goes right from your hand to the mouth. That means whatever you earn working, that money is just sufficient for you to feed yourself, to keep yourself alive. That's what it means. Okay. Okay. The next section, that is called grammar. So look at the following sentence from the text and observe the underlined part. It says, she saw a bald, fat, middle-aged man. Okay. So over there they have described in detail. This is called a noun phrase. Is an article, bald is an adjective, fat is an adjective, middle-aged is an adjective, man is a noun. So now what we have to do is, below there's an exercise which says complete the sentences with the noun phrases using the words given in brackets. I bought dash. So I would say I bought starts with the article, a beautiful red umbrella. Okay. So is an article, beautiful is describing the adjective, red is the color, and umbrella is the noun. A beautiful red umbrella. We saw dash in the zoo. We saw a couple of baby elephants in the zoo. Next, number 3. Our grandfather lives in dash, a big stone built house. So the answer would be a big stone built house. Ramya has dash, a nice silk sari. Okay, so these are the answers. So you always notice it starts with an article and then last is where you go to the noun. Before that you describe what the noun, the characteristics of that noun is. Okay. So last you'll have an exercise called writing. So I would request the students to go through that. It's a small paragraph, and if possible you all can write that and submit it to your respective class teachers, and from there on we will see what to do next. Okay. So as I say in my previous class also, I look forward to your comments and suggestions. I would like to know what else should I add in teaching. Okay. After this video you will have another upload of a small 10 minutes a 10-minute video which talks about public speaking. Okay. So if you are interested in any other topics, it's not necessary it has to deal with academics. It could be anything related to sports, it could be anything related to money, it could be related to science, whatever you can think of. It could be related to your town, Tandur, it could be related to roads, it could be related to families, it could be related to love, relationship. So whatever it is, if you all want me to talk about it, if you all have any doubts, please contact the administration, and I'm sure they will get back to you. So thank you boys, I hope you'll enjoyed today's class. Thank you.